Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in my lab, and I'm in the book. We about to do some teaching today. I'm about to put my skills to use. I'm gonna teach you some things that you need to purge from your mind. We're gonna talk about the negative aspect that you need to take care of yourself, and then learn how to listen and apply the teachings correctly. Let's go. Rightisms. 25 rules live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I'll ask the question: do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. Okay, so you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know the dangers, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Thinkers know thyself and to Maya be true. All right. Speaking of Maya, we can talk about my girl Aset. P Funk philosophy on the qualities of what we call a devotee to Aset. If you're gonna devote her, these are qualities that you need to purge from your mind and your character, and then teach you how to listen to the teachings and implement them, but use them correctly. Some people use them incorrectly. Let's go. So, first thing, qualities to be purged from your mind. Set, aka ego, personality, is the name of her goddess Aset, professed adversary. Aset is wisdom, intuitive knowledge. Her brother, which is the ego, Set, he represents ignorance, insolence, egotistical concepts, and it's all about him. So they are adversaries, enemies. Like me with an ignorant person, I really don't like ignorant people, so I try to avoid them. So we are adversaries, and they come to that. And he's a professed adversary to her. And also, it's a Greek word, and it means set means to be pride and insolence, egoistic. Okay, all about self. But this latter name is well adopted to the one who what? This is what Set does. Full of ignorance in himself, in error, making mistakes, fettering himself that he caused, and he tears in pieces. That's the idea of him cutting Assad's body up into 14 pieces. That's what the ego does. It destroys, it mutilates, it does bad things. Okay, bottom line. And that's from the temple of Aset. A serious, right thinking, spiritual aspirant, which I think all of mine are, you must strive to what? Eradicate your Satanian, your negative qualities in your character and from one's mind. Negative thinking, bad thinking, wrong thinking, those are things that you got control of. If you allow yourself to have those thoughts, a lot of times that thought leads to what? Action, and you end up down that road. That's the ego. But foremost of these are what? Pride and insolence. That guy was full of it. That guy, and he wore it like a badge of honor. And because other people was ignorant, they thought it was something good. Little did they know. All right. But these imply egoism. That's the quality of your set. Your ego is we trying to let you know, eradicate that from your thought process. Get it out of your qualities of your character. This implies the egoism, selfishness, people who want for them, that's selfish. And these are rooted in your spiritual ignorance. Again, the ego self. All it knows is what it wants, and everything is based on it. So you are unaware of your greater realities of life as a person. You're living on a lower level. That's why the ancients called them people with education and knowledge noblemen. If you knew better, you do better. That was the concept, and it still holds true today. Ignorance presents itself. Look at it. A person who knows himself look the different. You will see. I don't look like them. I don't act like them. I don't talk like them. Why? We ain't the same. They don't know, and I do know. So there's a direct difference. Good and evil. You should know the difference between the two. You can't tell what's good and what's bad. You can't tell this guy in the White House ain't good, really. But it's all about the person. And you'll be able to develop a feeling that you're a separate individual. Me, I. And you're in a struggle with what others, dog eat dog race, the crab in the barrel mentality with the world. That's wrong thinking. That's egoistic, ignorant thinking. They're trying to show you that. We're trying to present that to you. So, thus, you degrade yourself by engaging in coordinates, sexual activity, relationships with this one and that one, sleeping around, and you just pleasure seeking. He liked them girls. He liked them girls. He didn't care. Again, as long as he getting here, he didn't give a damn. So again, I wasn't like that. That wasn't my thing. But they enter into different physical relationships, and it's all based on their own personal desires of the flesh and their cravings. And even with the mind and body, the mind says get it, the body says okay. So this error, again, it's an error in your thought process, but this error must be overcome by what? Now, this is the lesson. Applying yourself to listen to the teachings with humility and reverence, and then to put the teachings into your day-to-day life. It don't make sense to gather knowledge and get information and don't use it. We about to find out about that in a second. Let's go. So now let's talk about listening, or how to listen to the teachings. Listen with this, not these. You hear these. You hear with the ears. Listen from the heart in earnest. Give me your attention. That's how I listen. That's how I learned from my teachers. I gave them my undivided attention. That's all you got to do. Focus on the person that's talking. Why? They're saying something that you might want to hear and listen to, not just hear. So again, attentive listening. I learned that from the Masonic Order. The hearing and touching, the hearing and the teaching of these divine, aka spiritual truth. That's not man's, okay? Spiritual truth which treat of the divine nature. You'll get straight. When I meditate, I go straight to the source. Like Frank Lucas, when he went and got his stuff, he went straight to the source. That way he controlled the product. That I did. But the same thing with knowledge. Go straight to the source. Get somebody who got it. That's what you're going to do. Why go to somebody who just ain't as smart as you are? Y'all going to teach each other. It's blind leading the blind. Perfect. So we have already discussed the process of what we call yoga, of wisdom philosophy, right thinking philosophy. And the three things that go with that is listening, reflecting, and meditating. You listen implies opening up to the teachings with what? A pure heart. Don't say, man, I ain't trying to hear that. I'm listening. But no, if you ain't in earnest, God knows your heart. That's why Judgment Day, all they care about is what's happening with the heart. So if it ain't heartfelt, your intentions ain't good or pure, don't worry. And this means what? That a heart which is free from negativity, negative aspects, wrong thinking of one's mind with the demons of anger, hatred, greed, jealousy, hypocrisy, lust, craving, discontent, and a whole bunch of other things that go with that. That's all satanic, egoistic qualities that you have total control over. All those things you control. And if any one of them apply to you, it's up to you to correct it. Ain't nothing I can do about it. I'm just laying out there for you. I'll tell you what you need to do. And when you're listening to what I'm saying to you, now you also need to apply, not having that the teaching is the teacher and well, he leads you to spiritual enlightenment. No, you have to, oh, excuse me, I missed the whole line. It implies not having, there you go, a preconceived notion or prejudices about what you're about to learn. If you come in with a half full cup, you're only going to get half the information. You empty your cup and come in and fill yourself with the information, and then your discernment will take over. It means trusting, again, in the teachings and the teacher. First of all, if you trust me, then you trust what I'm telling you is what it is. If not, don't waste your time. So if you have trust in the teacher and a faith that the teacher and the teacher will lead, the teacher and the teachings will lead you to spiritual life. My goal is to get you to know you. So that's what I'm doing. Trying to. And daily. Listening implies you putting down your ego right there. You got to check your ego at the door. If you bring the ego into the fray, the ego gonna have its way. So the best way to keep him from showing and wilding out, leave him out. So your ego, which is your personality of me, with its vanity, its selfishness, is gonna always look for what? Things that it likes. So if the conversation ain't to their likings, you can forget it. It goes wah, 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 wah. Trust me, I understand that. Why is this? So it only goes with what it likes. That's the ego. And it's only seeking to get away from what? Things that it seems what distasteful or not to their likings. If what I'm saying ain't weird with your thought process, oh, you out. I'm done. I get it. I understand that. So, and for those kind of people, I don't mind them leaving. So sometimes now, what? Sometimes the truth is painful. And I tell you to your face, if what I'm saying to you pertains to you and it hurt, that means you should check you, not get mad at me for telling you the truth about you. How that sound? But I'm the bad guy. But say hi to the bad guy. Why? I'm going to continue to shoot you with the Bob gun, a.k.a. I'm going to tell you the truth and give it to you no matter how you like it or don't like it. So if it hurt, that means get better. When the truth no longer hurts you, that means you're on the right side. Now, it is like a bitter pill. Yeah, it don't like it going down, but do it, get the job done. Damn how it tastes. Y'all worry about how it look. I told my son when we playing ball, dude, you got to put mustard on everything. Everything. You can't just rather just no. It's got to be some extras. Dipsy do okay, but the bitter pill, it ain't. I'm all about getting it done. Okay. However, your spiritual wisdom can be like what that bitter pill. Why? But it is also a means to you to discover. You ready? Bliss. Do it work? Yeah, it got you to bliss and contentment. That's the goal, and that's the point. Damn how it tastes. Damn how it look. Do it. Get the job done. I had a guy tell me, I can make you look good. They can see the pimples on your face. Man, I don't give a damn about that. Your background. Yeah, you take me. Yeah, all that sounds good. But I'm into the content that what to come out my mouth. I control that. The rest of that stuff, I don't have control of. And you gonna charge me $2,000 for that? I don't think so. So I just do what I do for you. So that egoistic people, well, he's one of them. Why? I can make you look better. I ain't trying to look better. So the egoistic people, they will only listen to what you're saying as long as they like what they hear. But a true spiritual aspirant, a real student of the arts and want to know better, will listen no matter what is told, and also he or she will heed the teachings. I'm not judging and critiquing the teacher. I'm listening and learning, and then I'm implementing. I do the judging after I implement to see if what he said worked for me. And I got so far, all my teachers, everything I practice, they proved to be right. So my point to that is, yeah, somebody knows. All you got to get the right one, and then when you do it, so now you know. I know. That's my point. And what happened? Ignorant people will take it to heart. And excuse me, a good student will take it to heart and then what? Assimilate it. That means practice it. That means put it to use. Assimilate it and try to understand it from what? From the experience, from actually doing it. This is called optical and practical. speculative and operative. Speculative is talking about it, thinking about it, understanding it in your mind. Operative is hands-on, doing it. Like the driver, you take the speculative test first. Teach you the rules. Teach you the things you need to understand before you operatively drive. That's what life is all about. You get to understand it, you put it to use, and then you have what? Mastery of the things that you knew. Without these ingredients, the listening process will be colored by illusions and desires and a total misconception of the mind and of the teachings. The teachings will not be understood or adhered to. Again, if somebody's speaking over your head, putting stuff down that you don't really understand, one of two things. You got to raise your level of comprehension and understanding, or they got to lower their level of teaching, where they can meet you at your level. Your choice. If I got a junior high school level educated person, I can't teach you at college level. It won't work. I know about that too. Okay, so understand that. So if they understand what you're presenting or they're interested, it won't work anyway. All right. But good things cease to be good. Why? Or are wrong, good things cease to be good in our wrong enjoyment of them. When you're doing things for the wrong reason, mostly at hidden agenda stuff, you're going to have fun, you're going to enjoy it, but it's at somebody else's expense. And that's usually not good. So that means you're going to have to suffer for that. Your consequences is what you put out, you're going to get back. That's karma. Can't get around it. And it's telling you here, what nature meant to be pure, sweet, and wholesome are then sources of what? It become bitterness to us and to those who practice it in what? The wrong manner. So from such delights arise now what? Pain. From such joys arise sorrow. Again, joy and pain. We got to have the ups and downs of life. Yeah, but if what you're doing is good, there ain't no downside. Good is good. If you put good in, good can come back. If you put bad in, you can't get good coming back. And if you put good in, bad won't come out. Good is good. Simple. Okay. So this is one of my favorite phrases. It says, knowledge, self-knowledge without action is like hoarding precious metals, jewels, and in vain and foolish thing to do. Why? I got years of stuff. I got years of experience. If I don't share that and get somebody, help somebody, what good is it? It means nothing. That's why I teach. Okay, that's my personal thing. To get some of this stuff out, somebody can use it. That's all. I did, so maybe somebody else could. What? Another man's junk, somebody else's treasure. To me, this is my junk. Why? I did it. I got it. I'm trying to give it to you now. Hopefully, it can be your treasury. Let's go. It was mine when I first got it. Okay, I used it, so now I can give it away. Knowledge is like, well, I tell you, I ain't got a dime. But when it comes to spiritual knowledge, I represent wealth. Hope you understand that. But knowledge is like wealth, intended for what? To be used, meaning shared. That's how I look at it. And those who violate the universal law of use, conflict with the natural forces, that's when you use it for the wrong purpose and the wrong reasons. Your boy Aleister Crowley, he took everything and flipped it and used it for do what I will. That means do whatever you want. Yeah, but you forget the other side to that coin. There's consequences that come with those actions. You leave that out. Oh, that's the fine print. You find that out later. Monday morning quarterback. All right, but that's the ancient Egyptian proverb. That's why one of my favorite. I got one more for you. But the best way to cleanse one's heart, okay, to purify one's heart, is to engage in what I call selfless service. What I'm doing right now, I'm engaging in a selfless service. I'm giving you something of value that to you, okay, from me to you, and it don't cost you nothing. Okay, to use and benefit from it. That's selfless service to humanity. Right there. Therefore, right thing of philosophy, the yoga of wisdom, is closely related to the same philosophy, yoga of righteousness. Again, action, doing something right and good. I live that. So as you live, again, in the world, to serve instead of seeking to be served and pleased. That's selfishness. If you think the world owe you something, you think you supposed to, no, that's selfish. Okay. But that wanes and the desires of one mind subsides. Okay. So now you are actually lifting the pressure of pleasure seeking and self-centeredness from your mind. That's what you got to do to purge the egoistic concept and see why it's going together. I'm taking you through the book step by step. Hope you understand that. So let's go. I'm getting you there. This will allow you as a person to now derive fulfillment from your activities and not from the results of the activity. I know if I do this, this cause and effect. If I do that, I get that. If I can talk slick, wine and dine and take out, I can get that. See the concept? Okay, and that's pretty much how we live and operate. So therefore, your inner peace will only occur when as the actions is being that you perform and there is no obstruction, no experiencing peace. Why? Because there is no expectation. There's nothing to look forward to. Why? You're doing it by the kindness of your heart. So you ain't looking for nothing in return. That's a selfless service right there. And for the future or the ulterior motive, I have no hidden agenda when I come here and do what I do for you. Ain't nothing in it for me. It's all me giving you something to help you. That's selfless. I'm giving. I ain't taking. They want me to start charging for subscription. I'm not gonna do that. Well, you gonna be a business? No, I won't be a businessman. Simple as that. If what the criteria that they're asking me for to fill, if it ain't within what I do, I'm not doing it. Simple as that. Moving on. If I'm not going, when I sold weed back in the day, I made nickel bags that I would buy. I would do my own product. Why? Okay, I would spend $5 for that. If I got to pay somebody to watch them to educate me, I'm not paying. I buy books, yeah, I got that. But no. Why? I wouldn't charge. So I tell you, if I ain't doing it, it's the reason why. If I tell you I don't do this for the money, did I charge you to subscribe to my channel? That's an asinine. I'm not hypocritical. I'm past that. I want to throw that out there. All right, sorry, let me wrap this up. But the process allows you, the person, to now live in harmony with what? The world, rather than being in constant conflict with it. If you caught up in the politics, you caught up in the religions, you caught up in all that stuff that you don't control, and you ain't caught up in knowing and being your best self, you doing all the wrong things, going around the world backwards. And it also allows your mind to be able to expand what? Beyond the confines of this little woe is me. And this promotes what? Pure right thoughts and pure right desires, not the negative, what? Selfish ones. So foremost of these is the desire to what? Listen. You learn by listening to what? And you listen to and study the mystical teachings of the goddess we call Aset. This doctrine inculcates a steady perseverance in one's uniform and temperate course of life, trying to what? Live right according to Aset. This is the process and the concept of the temple of Aset. You go there to do just that. And again, taking it in, this is the best part about right thinking philosophy right here. Righteous actions implies a life that is balanced, okay, without abruptness in thought, right thinking, word, or deed, living and doing the right thing. It means remaining on an even keel and handling life situations, okay, as best you can, and then not worrying about the results. You put that in the hands of what? The God. This way of life will provide you relaxation, self-contentment, as well as the promotion of your faith in God. I don't have to go to church to prove my faith in God. I live and do. That's the true faith. It ain't where you go to worship. It's what you do when you ain't worshiping. Fellowshipping, that's what you do, but you live it. That's what I'm trying to get you to learn. Sorry about that. Let me wrap it up for you. Let me take it on home. A spiritual aspect, aka right thinker, should lead a simple life. Okay, I'm very boring. And not seek to engage in complicated entanglements in other people's lives, getting involved in relationships, getting in everybody else's business. I ain't got time for none of that. Okay, you should not seek to have many friends. I thought it was bad that when I was bad, I had a bunch of friends, couldn't get rid of them. Now that I'm living doing right, I can't find a friend. So I know the difference. And not to have many friends or to engage in endless quest of what? Amass wealth, sexual pleasures, gain objects such as houses, cars, etc. That was his whole life. That's his life right there. Right there. I know that for a fact. I seen it. I watched it. I was a part of it for a while. You should not be deluded by the idea of what traveling and pleasure seeking is the way to fulfill your heart. That's somebody else's idea. If that's in your heart to do, that's what you do. But don't let nobody say you and that nonsense. Oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. No, I got to stay black and die and know myself. Anything other than that, I could care less about. Sorry. Okay. But food in all parts of the world is still composed of the same elements. Okay. So eating Italian food in Italy ain't no damn different. So they tell you that. They want you to believe that. I got to go to Italy. I got to go here to have the Greek side. I got to have it in Greek. Come on, man. It's called ethnicity. Come past that. So again, mountains all over the world are all composed of the same elements. Okay, they ain't competing to see who the highest, Kilimanjaro. But do not delude by thinking what that you will find happiness where in some particular place or outside yourself. Why? You're wrong. Do not make that mistake in believing that some activity or some possession or some event in your life will bring you abiding happiness, because it won't. Not even saying I do ain't going to guarantee you that. It comes from you. You need to be able to discover it what? In your own heart. Ding, ding, ding. Got it? Let's wrap it up now. Take it on home. You, again, everything is about you, self. You should also not be deluded into thinking that you will discover the highest truth of the soul by simply reading it in books and studying the teachings. Trust me on that one too. You need to go deep within what? Yourself. There you go. Dive deep in order to obtain that special knowledge which leads you to what? Enlightenment to yourself. Ding, ding, ding. This is why you must practice daily the teachings in an integral format. No matter what you're doing, use the philosophy, implement it so you can get good and it becomes natural to you to do as a format. And they are being imparted while you live and not to go to extremes one way or another. Okay, understand that. We got balance. Remember balance. But it is best for you to practice the teachings under the guidance of an authentic spiritual preceptor or sage. Yes, that's my title. That's my title. And yeah, I'm proud of that. So you must gradually learn. If you want to find somebody who knows, learn to get rid of your own illusions of ignorance and distractions in your life in order for you to discover and practice the wisdom teachings which will lead you to what? Real peace, real contentment, real bliss, which real happiness where? In your life. Taking it in, wrapping it up. And okay, but this is a little plug. For more of this yoga of righteous action, you can seek the book The Wisdom of Mayate by Dr. Muata Ashby, who's my teacher, who I've been studying under for the last 30 years. I appreciate that guy. He probably don't even know who I am, but it's all good. I took the lessons. I did it my way. Now I'm doing it today. Right thinkers, in closing, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus that day. So I never know my right thinkers who know the qualities to purge from their minds and passed away and practice the teachings correctly. Trust me, I'm out. I'll be right back though.